now.
So it's been a pretty busy night, man?
Huh?
Has it been pretty busy night?
No.
No? Has it been rain like this whole day?
Yep. So all I have to look forward to tonight is maximum traffic and no people in the streets.
Are you from New York?
Originally, yeah, I'm not anymore. I'm trying to get out.
Where do you want to go to, man?
Back to the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's nice.
California. I lived there for 10.5 years.
So how long you been driving?
Too long. I left the city in 1991 because I couldn't stand it anymore.
I guess it just gets to you after a while, like the whole environment.
Huh?
I guess it just gets to you after a while, like the environment.
Well,
City
the
life.
strange thing was I hadn't been anywhere else until I left. But by the time I was 31, I just realized I had to get out of here. I couldn't stand it. I had a friend who lived in California, and he let me come stay with him.
So, like, how is New York different from California?
California is civilized. It's just I get into this fight with my friends here all the time. They say, what's so different about it there? What's so different? And I said, it would take me hours to explain, just suffice to say, we are superior to you in every single way imaginable. Outside of New York, people don't seem to feel this need to like wallow in the gritty side of life all the time.
Yeah.
It's like where I was from, where I'm from now, I mean, people seem to like wallowing in the fun side of life, doing fun things, and not like being so serious and wanting to kick everybody's ass all the time, which I found pretty nice.
So do you see like a lot of like people move to New York to try to make it big and like they fail miserably?
Yeah. All the time.
What do you think like the number one factor is for like not making it in this place?
They believe the hype.
Which
They're not from here. They just listen to all this hype about New York City, how it's the center of the world supposedly, how it's this, how it's that, and they come here thinking they're going to make it big, and they flop right down on their ass. Because there's a lot of stuff the New York Chamber of Commerce won't bother telling you, outside the city. The city's unemployment rate is 8%. Nobody's hiring. There's people come here for the media outlets, and they're shocked to find that New York is not the place to come to if you want to make it in show business. It's all a talk, it's all a facade. They talk about Broadway this, museums that, culture that. Nobody goes to these places. A Broadway ticket costs an average of $120. So it's only the wealthy New Yorker crowd that has always been here and always had money. They're the Broadway crowd. California is a hard place to destroy, really. I mean, there is a lot of wealth floating around it, so it gets distributed somewhat more evenly than it does on the East Coast. But Davis seemed to be doing everything in his power to basically work as hard as he could to destroy the state. The only reason he got elected in the first place was in the first election, only 47% of the electorate turned out. In the last election where he was re-elected, 30% turned out. So he was elected by about 5 million people in the state, out of 41 million. Because there was nobody running against him. The last election, before I left, it was a choice between the boob, who was Gray Davis, and just these parasites, basically. Just, there was no choice. This time there was a choice. There was somebody standing up, bellowing, "This is ridiculous, this is absolutely insane. We can't let this go on." And everybody listened,
And more than 5 million people saw Terminator 2, so they're obviously going to...
Well, I mean, Terminator 3 sucked, but that didn't affect mine. The first thing I thought when he was elected was like, well, we're going to have to wait a while for Terminator 4. America should just get over it, move forward, and just literally take over the world. Just go out and take it over. and worry about the consequences afterwards. Atom bomb Baghdad. Just flatten it. Atom bomb Baghdad, Tikrit, Mosul, just flatten and totally destroy every administrative center, end this once and for all. I'm getting so sick of hearing about, there's trouble in West Africa, oh, we must go and stop it. Why? Why? If there's trouble in West Africa, I'm sorry, there's not much in West Africa to interest me. I don't have any relatives there, I don't speak the language, I don't particularly care about the culture, I don't care what they do as long as they don't come here and try and smash in my windshield.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of the darkies, yeah.
I think the world is run by Queen Elizabeth and the Pope, and they're secretly married and having secret alien children. The world is turning into like the science fiction I prefer to read. The ice caps are going to melt, the coasts will be flooded within 50 years, it's going to happen, and nobody's worrying about it, nobody cares. And the president still dithers and pulls his dick in the White House and says there's really no such thing, we have to have more evidence. It's out of control now, it can't be stopped. There's no way to stop it. What are they going to do? Put up airplanes and start spraying ozone into the atmosphere? There's not going to be any revolution, there's not going to be any uprising, there's going to be nothing. This is just going to go, this is the beginning of the Orwellian period of human civilization, as far as I'm concerned. The only thing I care about is not being alive to see the fructification of it. So if this wants to happen 50 years down the road, that's fine. But what would I say? Do nothing. There's nothing you can do. This was already over 30 years ago. The people lost their power, they're not getting it back, that's the end of it. From now on, civilization in North America and throughout the world is going to have as much of a standard of living, as much of a life as the powers that be deem it in their interest to allow them to have. And that's it. I have no interest anymore in the outside world. So most of the people I know consider me a freak, which I've sort of gotten used to. You're supposed to ask permission when you do that. We're too friendly just to be wanting to talk to them.